Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the little video and had a good 5-10 minutes of conversation. So let's quickly go through those 6 questions I asked you to think about. First of all, what was the original framing? Well, the original framing was clearly, as they say in the video, taxes, 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 which you could otherwise describe it as an economic frame. The calculation we're making is financial in that. Can we afford it? Question 2, what was the full start of the campaign? The full start was them trying to campaign in the economic frame. It's affordable, and you've got the Republicans, it's not affordable. Everybody's debating affordability, economic frame. Question 3, what was the new framing? Well, I think of it as literature. You could think of it as books, you could think about it as even Nazis in a way, because it triggered the idea of book burning. And so you can see that there lots of people could see different priorities within it, could describe it slightly differently, but essentially what everybody was reacting to was the idea of the value of books. So literature, the value of books, something in that region. That's the frame that they activated. And how did they activate it? And this is really interesting, and it leads us to a very important framing lesson. They activated it by violating it. They said book burning. They didn't put up placards saying, don't close the library because we love books. Everybody appreciates literature. How much did you learn from your teacher? All that sort of narrative about arguing for literature front on. They took the much more interesting approach of coming at it from the exact opposite way and violating the frame and saying, we dislike books. We undervalue, we do not value books, and we're going to have fun burning them. So they violated that frame. And the really important message here is what's often called the don't think of an elephant message, which is, if you see what they did, they essentially said, we don't like literature, but they did it by saying we're going to burn the books. And they didn't need to directly say we don't like it. They said we're going to burn the book, and everybody assumed, well, that's what Nazis do. We value books in this. This goes to who we are as a people. But they could still activate that frame by, in this case, violating it, or you could just say negating it. It doesn't matter. You're still activating the frame. And the reason it's called the "Don't Think of an Elephant" lesson is it's after the name of a book by George Lakoff, who's the granddaddy of linguistic framing, cognitive framing, theory at least. And the point he's making there is, I can say to you, don't think of an elephant, and you'll have an elephant pop up in your mind. It doesn't matter that I say don't think of it. The fact that I say the word elephant activates the elephant in your mind. So these guys took that lesson to the next degree by absolutely violating the frame that we love literature. But as you can see in the video, that was powerful. And now question 5, can you isolate a message in their campaign? Now, I'd love to be able to hear the feedback from the room on this, but the point I wanted to try and get you to think about there was there was a message, but the message wasn't the literal message of of a campaign. It's not like save the whales, or it was actually burn the books. It was opposite to the message of the campaign, opposite to the logic they were actually trying to promote. And what's important there, the thing that really determines that strategy, is the frame, not the message. So the frame is the deeper thing. And then finally, number 6, in what ways did the campaign succeed or fail? Well, there were 2 clear metrics of success. First of all, the most important one being they won the campaign, they kept the library open. The second one, though, did you notice there? They got an uptick in voter turnout, a considerable uptick in voter turnout. And again, that takes you back to that lesson that if you can tap into those visceral values level that people have, the response will be automatic. People feel things deeply. Now, these guys were particularly creative in how they managed to do that. But not only did they get people wanting to protect the library, but they got more people wanting to protect the library than was expected in the voter turnout. So by all measures, a successful political campaign. Okay, so now I want to take us on to the final section of this talk, which is, let's put this into practice and something that you know about deeply and you care about deeply. So I'm going to take some language. I've got a sentence here that I took from the text of the Sustainable Development Goals. So, and Maria has this written down for you as well, but let me read out this sentence. And I'd ask you kind of to write it down, because this is what you'll be working on now. Here we go. Poverty eradication, comma, changing unsustainable and promoting sustainable patterns of consumption and production, and protecting and managing the natural resource base of economic and social development are the overarching objectives of and the essential requirements for sustainable development. Let me read that again. Poverty eradication, comma, changing unsustainable and promoting sustainable patterns of production and consumption, and protecting and managing the natural resource base of economic and social development are the overarching objectives of and essential requirements for sustainable development. Okay, there's our word, there's our sentence. So if we go back to the iceberg exercise in your papers, write that sentence up here. That's your next sentence. Okay, now, what is inside and what is outside that sentence? What is having our attention drawn to it and what is not being spoken about? What is the particular language use? What are the metaphors here? What can we see in terms of metaphors? What can we see in terms of assumptions? What assumptions are being made here? So let's go through this process, the iceberg exercise, and with this sentence and see where we land up. And now come back for one final closing video. Thank you.